Here back with the game 2 of 3 between I Want to Be Bred as the Orange Roos, paired with Real Ironborn as the Pink Deli player, against Baron Rojo as the Red French player, and Razgriz as the Green English player. So right off the bat, Diablo, what sticks out to you about this matchup?
Roos is really good in team games. I think it's the best civilization by far in team games.
Okay.
The hunting bonus is just so good.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's see how fast he gets his 500 bounty. I think he gets it before feudal age, or at least when he's feudal age. But yeah, let's see if Rasmus and Baron Holshow can strike back with the French-English combo this time. As I said before, it's probably the most dominant 2v2 combo in the game. It's very hard to stop normally, especially if the team is coordinated. And I saw some good coordination of them. They tried to group up the army. Let's see if we can see that in this game too. And what actually Roos and Delhi will do against that.
Yeah. I'm interested to see no early hunting cabin from our Roos player here. I think I'd like to see that out so we can start pumping out scouts.
He has an early hunting cabin.
Does he have an early hunting cabin?
Yeah, under his DC. He started the normal Roos build. He just has one villager less on wood. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty juicy hunting cabin. A solid 21 gold a minute here.
Yeah, I think the average hunting cabin you can, with a good spawn, get 24 to 26 sometimes, or 32 even, but it's not that often.
Yeah.
He's already at 180 bounty.
Already getting wheelbarrow here. That's a very fast wheelbarrow.
That's very normal for Roos.
Yeah. And we do see, looks like Baron Rojo is going to be competing for deer here on the left side of the map. Looks like they're going to be smartly kind of trying to kill as many deer as possible, deny as much gold as he can to the Roos player.
Yeah. With Roos, if you hit 250 bounty, what you hit now, you can research wheelbarrow. In team games, you always can research it the moment you get it. In 1 vs 1, you also can start it, but sometimes you have to cancel it because you don't reach 250 bounty. And without 250 bounty, you can't age up with wheelbarrow.
So Roos players deciding to send scouts to all corners of the map. It's always very impressive to see. It's always a very micro-intensive operation there when you're kind of killing deer all over the place. You can't shift-click them. It makes it a little easier. But it's definitely going to be annoying when players are trying to kill the deer, take that bounty away from you.
First, that second, shift-click takes 50% longer than microing them, because you shoot actually 3 arrows at that deer and you kill them with 2 arrows.
Okay.
So it's actually not that efficient. So a really good Roos player kills micros all his scouts, and then you want to group up the scouts as fast as possible and probably run to the enemy gold and start to harass the villager. And that's really hard in team games, I think. In 2 vs 2 it's maybe possible, but in 3 vs 3 and 4 vs 4 it gets more or less impossible. But let's see how he's doing. He's already at 375 bounty. I think that's the max you get normally. You can get in a 1 vs 1 if you have a really good start.
Yeah. Definitely makes Roos a powerhouse in team games. Another thing I'm interested to look at is the Sacred Site control, because we do have a Deli player here, and we do know that how many Sacred Sites the Deli player gets kind of determines their power level going into Castle Age.
Let's see if it seems Roos goes for his boar start. Let's see if it's a hunting cabin boar or he only goes for the deer. No, it's a boar here too. The question is, does he go for the hunting cabin boar start? Goes for a wooden fortress first. Interesting.
Yeah, he's got to be careful not to get that boar pulled away from his wooden fortress here.
He messes up the build. I don't like that build quite. So it's easier, but it's so much worse than the actual build. With the actual build, you want to have 1 villager more on wood in the early game, and you get a wooden fortress first in your base, and then you get kill the boar, get the mill and then the hunting cabin.
Let's see.
Yeah, he struggles a little bit with
Doesn't want to get a scout killed by this board. He's got to pull the scout away.
Killed, yeah.
Ooh,
No,
lost a scout. That's not good.
You have to kill it after the last. You have to kill it 2 attacks before it dies.
Yeah.
Because if it's on at 1 attack, the ball always hits it more or less. It has a really long attack animation.
Well, there is a lot of meat by that hunting cabin. That is going to be a huge food source.
I wanted to say maybe I would like it more on the left because it would give a little more gold. Also would be a little bit better for the deer, but I think that's also absolutely fine.
We got double stables coming in from our French player here. I'm probably going to see some early attacks. This could maybe be an all-in here. They might be looking to pay back the other team when they got French-English all-in. They might be doing the same back to them here. It looks like that our Roost player is going to smartly build a barracks here. It's going to be a forward barracks. It's just important to kind of protect his economy here. That actually looks to be really helpful against kind of a knight all-in. That is going to keep his food economy safe for quite a while.
To be fair, I'm not a big fan of this kind of builds. Also, I think it's good in 1 versus 1, but I don't like it in 2 versus 2s that much, or in team games in general, because the rush distance in team games is a lot higher. So normally you get your attack up at 10 minutes or something like that. I don't think they get much done before that, besides maybe getting the wooden fortress a little bit harassed.
And now we are seeing a stable from our Roost player. He's going to definitely pump out a knight here. I'd like to see him probably harass this French player. It always feels good to kind of start killing French villes, you know, in feudal age, kind of force them into, you know, a position they're forcing you into. Also, not seeing any scholars go out. Let's see if Sanctity is only 80 seconds away from finishing here. Would like to see some towers, especially against an English player, because towers are good because they can defend your sacred site and they can kind of shoot at reinforcements from the English player. Those spears and longbows actually do a lot of damage if you go for arrow slits.
I'm not quite sure why Delhi and Rus both go stable. I understand why Eberset. I think it's okay. I think no, he's go horseman. Interesting. I personally like the stable with Rus, but I had only a few knights in it, and I go more infantry focus in the early game. I think it's way better with mass archers and spearmen.
Seeing some spearman raids coming in on our French player over here.
And what I want to say,
a town center. Oof.
Oh, that's one split that. What I wanted to say before with the French builds in 2 vs 2, I think you want to rush out 2 knights as fast as possible, then rush a second TC out as fast as possible, and around the 9 to 10 minute mark you have with the second TC more knights than with 1 TC.
Yeah, looks like some knights. Looks like they're prodding the Delhi player here.
Yeah,
would like to see some towers out of the Delhi player here. Looking over here, it looks like our Roost player has 2 stables and 2 barracks going on by his proxy hunting cabin. Maybe this is the move here to kind of put pressure on the French player. I don't think this is a bad idea, right? Like, if you're just going to leave your base wide open, I'm just going to keep killing villagers and kind of harassing your gold and everything like that. Because that will eventually stifle the French player's economy, and those knight reinforcements will stop. And we'll even see that it looks like England is pulling his longbows back to help defend against this. So looks like that was a very smart move. Only 3 horsemen and a few spears kind of coming in for the harass. But they are forcing this kind of French-English all-in feudal age to kind of stall out a little bit. Yeah,
what I personally would have liked would be Moose going 2 archery ranges, 3 archery ranges, 2 to 3 barracks with spearmen archers, and the Delhi player pump out a lot of these stable of these horsemen.
Oof. Going as a scout. I think this English-French combo isn't totally sure they know what they want to do right now. I would love to see the Roost player throw a wooden fortress on this far left sacred site, and that could, along with some of those extra strong Roost walls, let his teammate take the sacred site and boom off of that.
Also, what I noticed, the Roost bought stone to get the tower emplacement. the Aaron placement for the wooden fortress, his forward one,
Yeah.
but he didn't get the castle turret. I think
Yeah.
that's a huge
Very
mistake
worthwhile upgrade,
because it's such a good upgrade, especially versus knights.
Yeah, that castle turret upgrade will let that wooden fortress actually melt those royal knights.
Yeah. The interesting thing is the turret emplacement actually doesn't increase the damage of garrisoned villagers. It only increases range. So that's the only direct damage upgrade besides your blacksmith damage upgrades.
Yeah. I agree. I think this would be a very good game for some wooden fortress spam here, especially with this aggressive feudal pressure. It looks like that this feudal aggression from France and England is going to get stalled out here. It looks like it just kind of petered out. Do see one sacred site being taken
goes for a
from
counter-attack with a ram on the French base.
Oh yeah, he is making a ram. They went back to the Delhi player, but there is a ram being built outside of the red French player's base. Horsemen are going to pull back, but the spears are going to stay in here. No archery range for our French player, so we might actually struggle to deal with these spearmen.
Yeah, no, I think English should pull just villagers out the moment they see it. That should be no. But I don't think they look there, so let's see how many villagers die at the French gold.
Yeah, those berry
Maybe
villagers from France could be pulled,
one,
I think, and burn that ram down.
only
Looks like
one
they're going to
villager,
garrison,
yeah.
though. I think this is the right move. That ram's
What
going to be
I
attacking a
personally
house.
What I personally started, if I go rams, what is only with Eversit, I started to put a spearman into my rams, so if enemy knights go to charge, I can pull them out and stop the charge.
Ooh,
I think it's the
tower
only
that's
way
gonna go
to
up.
make rams possible, yeah, but that's absolutely... Wow, the ram is so bad now.
Attacking the ram. Spearmen are going to siege down some stables here. Looks like
Yeah,
he just
but
wants
the
to
ram
destroy
dies.
as much stuff as he can here, right?
The
The
ram
army's
just
gonna get
dies
pulled
to the
back
tower
again.
fire. Also at the same time, they're pulling... Oh, that's such a big mistake. They pulled all the army back to defend this push.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessary. I think the French player should just throw down an archery range. All he has is spearmen here.
No, but I think the right choice would be English masses up a few archers and pull them and set them over.
Yeah, he could also send him over. Yeah, I guess his council hall's right there, isn't it? It's really close.
Yeah.
He could just pump out longbows from his council
And the
hall.
actual army just should have killed.
Now
the
these spears are
Delhi
lost.
player.
These spears are all going to die now. This is not looking good for our southern team. It looks like the French-English combo might prevail again. I definitely think they're quite a far bit ahead here. Still no castle turrets coming in from that proxy wooden fortress. Maybe another barracks. Luckily, there are some spears here, but they need to jump on those knights yesterday.
Yeah, now they're jumping on them.
But it's going to be too late. Those longbows are here in a
One
second.
knight dead.
Not if they stop to build a ram,
Yeah.
though. Knights are going to pull back. 2 rams being built, and this might be GG here pretty soon if these rams are able to destroy this proxy base from our Rus player.
Yeah. Also here would be castle turrets still really good, but yeah. Maybe even a second wooden fortress. Or third one.
There's some spears hiding in a stealth forest at the back of the map.
Yeah, the Rus player
like
didn't
that.
use his golden tickets of the Golden Gate. His tickets in the Golden Gate, sadly.
There are
He
7
has
tickets in the
7
Golden Gate. What I would have liked to see is maybe a second TC or either just a huge mass of kind of archers and spears and early knights.
I think both for Rus and French you want to start a second TC as French you want to get 2 knights out. As Rus probably his forward base instead of the hunting cabin he should have dropped a second TC just by the stone. You have the gold with that. And then get the proxy base as a second TC with a wooden fortress.
Yeah.
I think that could have been a lot better for both of them. In team games, I'm a big fan of a really fast second TC because it's more or less unpunishable because of the long running distances.
Yeah. I think that this is pretty much going to be game here as that proxy base gets cleaned up. I think that plays to the south needed to decide it a little bit harder if they were going to boom or make units. I feel like they kind of picked a middle ground, and that usually ends in failure if you don't commit hard one way or the other, I feel like.
Yeah, also, what I personally would have liked to see is 3-4 Archer Revenges of the Rus player, because you can win the Archer War as Rus versus English, because you just have 2 to 3 times more Archers than English can produce.
Yeah, I
So
would
they
expect to
could
see a
have.
GG any minute here. But
So Rus have gotten gone for Spearmen, Archers, and Delhi for his. Oh, maybe the Delhi Elephant, the 2 elephants that coming out,
yeah, Delhi
maybe change
is in
thing.
Castle Age here. Does he have elephants
Man at
coming out? He
Arms, an
does have an elephant
elephant.
coming out.
I have just a terrible feeling. Yeah, okay.
I don't think 1 elephant's going to be enough to stop this, though. Unless he has, like,
And
30 scholars to heal it. Does have another
How many
elephant
is-
coming out.
He has only 2 scholars.
These knights get a
There's-
surround on this elephant. The elephant's dead
After,
very
yeah.
quickly. Yeah, they're not going for the surround quite yet. Horsemen need a body block here.
I personally don't. Also, I hate it to surround elephants with knights because it's so expensive.
Yeah, no, I do not think. If anything,
Yeah.
maybe a war elephant would have been a better move, honestly, with this many knights. Wouldn't be
Yeah,
perfect,
maybe.
definitely. The spears could have taken it out, but war elephants are just so tanky, and they can trade cost effectively against literally any number of knights. Even if the knights get a surround on war elephants will still trade effectively against them. But yeah, 1 elephant going down. He didn't pull any scholars either to heal these elephants, so I just don't
No.
really think they're going to get a whole lot done here.
Also, is forgetting some of his upgrades here. Doesn't drop his castle.
What Real Ironborn should have done is run a tower elephant up to Green's base into his wood line, and he would have been able to like kill a bunch of villagers and shut down his wood eco. And stop
Yeah,
those.
I think if he could have sent the villagers on the other side and could have dropped the castle at the base. But yeah, to be fair, the French-English combo, it's so hard to stop.
Yeah, definitely very good if they're staying effective at keeping those English spears defending the French knights. Right, the French player can just spam nothing but knights.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a keep coming up, but it's a keep coming up to defend a destroyed base. It also might get sieged down. It gets cancelled, I think.
Nah, he still lost down for that
Oh, did he?
because it got attacked before. Yeah, but not much. He got most of it back.
Longbows actually do pretty well against tower elephants too.
Do they?
They do better than regular.
not-
They do, yeah, because they can start.
Yeah, better than.
They have longer range and they do more damage.
Yeah, they actually do 3 damage
Yeah,
with no upgrades.
yeah, they do a little more damage than they have further range.
Now they do. At the moment, they do 2 damage versus the war elephant. So normal
Longbows do
archers only
better
would do
against.
1 damage.
Yeah, they're also good
fi-
because they can pick off scholars. They can like one-shot scholars. If you have like a big tower
Yeah.
elephant scholar ball, longbows can like pick off the scholars.
What I find really interesting is, in general, you think archers are better versus light units, and the tower elephant is classified as a light unit.
Yeah,
But because
they-
it has
they do
such a
just-
high,
yeah, you need like a
because
bunch.
they
Like
have
if you get like a big ball of them.
no, because they have such a high ranged armor, crossbows actually do better damage versus them, because crossbows have 14 base damage, so they do actually 8 damage instead of 2 or 1 damage. So crossbow are in fact better versus elephants than archers are.
Yeah, they're better,
Even
but
they,
yeah, I mean like, but you gotta take into account like crossbows cost like gold. Or longbows
Yeah,
you can
but
just pump out. You can make like archers and knights.
yeah, but crossbows are in fact worse versus camel archers or camel riders than archers are, or hand cannoneers or crossbows. Their archers are a lot better because they get versus melee light units. They get no versus melee light infantry. They get damage, but they have a higher attack speed. So versus light armor, they do relatively fine, but crossbows are in general just better in most things.
It looks like I want to be Bread's army is running away from his base that's being destroyed. I think
Yeah.
he's being very optimistic here. Got some Palins coming down. I don't think it matters though. I think that I think Wannabe Bread is totally dead. And
Yeah, but
Real
If you
Ironborn.
take a look at the French base at the moment, he is now at 58 economy.
Yeah.
I think he could have done the same thing with a second TC in the early game, and would be now at 120 economy, and instead of 26 knights, he would be at 40 or 60 knights. So that's the reason I like in team games the second TC so much more. Especially if the enemy doesn't have a French player, it can't be really punished. If he has a French player, you might don't want to go that, but I think fitting a second TC in as French is so good normally. If you can fit it somewhere in.
Looks like we have a town center and a white tower going up on the sacred site between the English player and the Delhi player. Interesting. Yeah, I guess this could work. I would have maybe... I guess, you know what? The landmark keeps actually kind of got an indirect buff, right? Because they cost wood to repair, whereas regular keeps cost stone, so...
To be fair, I played a lot of second TC English. And the second TC English, I prefer White Tower over King's Palace. Out of the single reason, because the White Tower is a castle and I can get the network of Citadels upgrade and siege unit out of that instantly.
Yeah, that's always helpful to get that, pop that siege unit out as soon as you hit Castle Age.
Yeah.
It can be very helpful.
And I think with a second TC on English, you normally don't need the third TC. Versus Abbasid, you can debate that you want the third TC, but versus most other matchups, or China, but versus other matchups, I think the White Tower is so much better, especially because you want to play aggressive with English. So I would even would have loved to see the White Tower even more forwards near to the Delhi base.
Alright. And that's going to be game there. French-England prevails again. Well, in Game 3, nobody will be able to play that. Well, I guess they could switch around what teams they played, but yeah.
Yeah.
GG.
But it's